Mike O'Mara, radio entertainment. You can listen to The Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Well, what have we here?
It's a podcast.
Fine.
And what excitement we have today.
It's The Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara and Rob Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
Carla used to give me a hard time when I would talk about Rob's levels being weird when we would start the show. But Rob's got some new equipment in there, and I know the listeners won't track with this that much, but Rob, it just sounds so much better
Awesome.
coming from
Thank you.
Leesburg. So I just wanted to let you know that because we communicate sometimes on this show. This is when we're talking to each other. We spend a brief amount of time before the show, and then we get right to it. So bear with us when
Mike
we
hates talking on the phone.
I don't like talking on the phone.
No. But thank you. I
Stand it.
actually worked a little bit on it yesterday, so I hope it sounds even better than ever. So.
Yeah, I wish I did better. And then I come into the studio, and this is why we should talk more. And Josh doesn't strike me as the gloating kind of guy or a trash talking kind of guy because
Not at all.
he would have an opportunity. I came in today absolutely oblivious to the fact that my baseball team and his baseball team are going head to head. I will give myself an excuse.
Okay.
The Red Sox in my world now are at a stage where if they F up, they get maybe one, maybe two games. I watched the home opener, bailed on the second game, and haven't checked them out since.
Well,
That's
Mike,
where they are with me right now. If they go on a winning streak,
Isn't it sort of an afterthought when you've already known that they're going to win the World Series this year? You already told us.
Right, you're just waiting.
Shut up, you. I really didn't know until Josh told me 2 minutes ago that
If
that our
only there
teams are
was
going
someone on the
head-to-head.
show that followed the American League.
Yeah, it's his identity. But he's not a trash talker, or
No, he's not.
or he
No.
might be a trash talker, but he's not a gloater. And if he was a gloater, he would have texted me last night.
No,
Yeah,
but he
no.
did
No.
bring up with great smiles today when you said, "Does anybody have anything they want to talk to?" And he was right there with it. He was right there with it.
Could
No,
I have
was,
a brief
I was
recap?
annoyed we forgot about it. I forgot about it yesterday.
Okay.
So we could have had a nice bet going on.
That's well,
But I-
now
you
too
know-
late for betting when they suck. So,
Mike, I did go ahead and update your puppet for you, though.
Oh,
I-
wow.
That's great.
You were thinking of that. I saw
Well,
it at
yeah.
the beginning of the show, and I said, no update. I thought of that when I saw
Well-
the puppet.
I asked for it to darken your hair,
Oh no.
and there it is.
That's-
I'm not sure whether that's appropriate. Is it?
I don't know.
Rob, would you like to comment on the?
It is
Nope.
April 1st.
Nope.
there
Does
it is.
that let us go a little further of a leash?
I'm deferring to the man from Leesburg for this.
I would
Rob's-
say that
Rob's
it's
being
an
quiet.
exciting opportunity to join us on a cruise this December.
Okay,
And,
we're gonna move. We're gonna.
Mike, I'm just going on years of experience that when I try to fix something like that, you leave displeased. So
Yes,
I
I
say
know.
nothing.
I know. That's
It just went a little too dark.
little African American puppet. That's
Yeah, Josh is-
you know,
Guys,
Josh is very Joshy today.
and his comedy.
Here I was. Now my disappointment is my disappointment is only matched by my discomfort.
I like that it threw you both off.
That's yeah. And
It's hard
Truly
to
didn't
Rob off.
expect it. No.
that was a surprise.
And good for you, Josh Stroka.
Jesus Christ!
Aren't you coming up on your 1-year anniversary? Have you figured the
He's
day out?
feeling comfortable.
If I
isn't he?
if I make it, we'll see. I think it's another week.
As a rule, it doesn't appear like you're going anywhere, but
Oh my
just
God!
so we know.
Back to the please, as fast as we can. Back to the game.
Yes, welcome to the show.
All right, can you give me a recap of last night when the Red Sox arrived in Baltimore after losing 3 out of 4
It was
to the
the
Texas
home
Rangers?
opener for Baltimore,
Yeah.
and very first inning, the Orioles put up 4 runs.
That's a
let
good
me ask
start.
you this: did you have are you an opening day kind of guy? Do you like to? I was kind of thinking maybe
Yes.
that you would be up there for that.
Yes, I normally go up.
Okay.
This year, I am not going up. I
You
do,
just got back
obviously.
from the Carolinas, so
Well, it's more of I'm going the end of May, going to Boston for a few games, so that's where that flight and money
Please
went.
come to Boston when it's in May. So they
She
put up
said
4 runs.
no.
What was the final?
Final was 5-8.
8-5.
Well, yeah.
No
I mean,
one here gets out alive.
8-5 Orioles.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said 5-8 because I always do the visitor first.
Oh, because that's a
Instead of the winner
traditionalist
first.
type of
I don't
thing.
know. That's just
5-8 sounds like somebody who doesn't understand the game.
no. It's someone who puts the visiting team first and the home team second.
5 to 8 sounds
Like in
like
a
time I
scoreboard.
try to show up every day and never miss
That
it.
is kind of a baseball thing, isn't it?
Maybe so.
It's
maybe
nice
with
to
your
do a show
baseball.
with George Will.
All right, so 8-5. So the Red Sox had a little bit of fight.
Yeah. That's spoken like truly like someone who won the game.
And the malcontent didn't do well last night.
Rafael Devers
Raffy
is-
whine about not playing third Devers. you
And
know.
they might want to just let him play third because he is 0 for 19 to start the season.
Do you think that's what it is? Do you think
No.
that's that? What is it? Is it that he's unhappy? Is it that he's feeling like overwhelmed
Well,
by
Mike,
the
when you
pressure of
called him-
having? Hold on. When he's feeling overwhelmed by the pressure of having Alex Bregman on the team, is that what it is?
I think it's just a bad slump to start the game.
Jesus.
But baseball
Start the
is very
season.
mental. So do you not even know that the Red Sox signed an extension last night as well?
I don't know that. I don't know anything about the. They didn't pop up on my
Derek
feed.
Crochet,
Oh,
Your pitcher?
Oh,
Yes.
okay. All
Of
right.
course.
Well, he's good.
6 years, 170 million.
Well, they just keep spending money for that one in that
Yeah.
that
They're
1
not
in
winning.
5 record,
Mike, the Red Sox also signed an
or is it
extension.
1 in 4? I think it's 1 in 4.
Well, it's soon to be 1 in 5. The Red Sox signed an extension also, Mike, with the American League. So they're going to keep playing baseball for 2 more years.
Jesus, look at
1 in 4.
Isn't it cute when he tries to involve?
He
Oh,
got-
Mike, I
got the
think it's
right
cute.
league.
It's always cute when we all try.
Yeah, if only we did all the time. Anyway, yeah. So I'm bummed. I'm frazzled. I am.
Mike, if they run the table, the Red Sox will have the most amazing
that's
season.
football. That's football.
Well,
Running
it means
the
the
table.
same thing. It means
No,
the
it
same
does
thing.
not.
If they
It
win
is too
every
long a
game
season.
from here out,
Oh God.
how many games are there in a season, Josh? Like 160?
16.
16 games.
Yes.
There's 16 games, just like football.
I,
So, Mike, they have
yeah.
10 more chances to win.
It's very, very depressing. But it's not as depressing as yesterday. I have a good ability to compartmentalize.
I think it's
And
important. Yes.
I think, especially in these times.
Mhm.
Anyone who listens to the show knows I've done TMOS extras on political subjects. People ask me all the time. Number one question, I don't know if you guys get it as well when you say you're involved in a podcast or a radio show. You say, politics or sports?
Oh, that's the first question.
Saddens
Always.
me that that's where we are because back in the day, it used to be, oh, you do a morning show and people would assume that's just trying to be amusing, trying to be topical, and it would not be categorized. And somewhere in the 90s, it flipped, and anything broadcasting on the radio went from generic and wide open, an inch deep and a mile wide, to being put in a box
Yep.
of either sports or politics. And that's when guys like me, were some people hung in there, their own entities, like Howard Stern. That he was the guy. He was the only one that people would identify. Oh, it's Howard Stern, and that's
If
Howard
you would
Stern
have picked
radio.
a side, you could have
What's
made
that?
a lot more money. If you would have just picked a side, you could have made a lot more
Oh,
money.
Man, oh man, if I've been able to do it. No, probably one side. Probably your side, I think, right?
Well, I meant sports or politics.
Oh,
But yes, on
yeah.
politicals, you'd have to come to my
No, I
side.
would see. I mean, politics was never in the cards for me. And sports, I kind of sang for my supper, probably not credibly, to be able to do sports. It would have destroyed me. I would not have been able to do it.
Yeah, it would have
I
been
couldn't get on and do X's and O's every day. I know you couldn't.
Would it be great? Well, no,
but-
that would, if you had taken this, then mean I would take a job in hardware.
Yeah,
Because I couldn't
Yeah,
do
it's
that.
tough. But
Yeah.
it's just one thing every day. yesterday, and this is where the whole compartmentalized factor comes in, that yesterday I'm out with my mates, and it was these three guys were all kind of super MAGA guys. You know, they really, really were. And it started before we even started playing, and I don't have a technique when I want to say, you know, without coming across as an a-hole, saying, I don't want to talk about it, but you probably could just say that. I got caught up in the discussion.
Did
and it
anybody
went on
start it?
and on and on and on. It started with
Or did your reputation precede you? Because sometimes that
my
happens.
reputation preceded me. That's the way it goes.
It's
with
probably
everywhere.
time to put the Kamala shirt away.
I wish I was wearing something like that, because I was on the putting green prior to the round of golf. One of the guys said, "We've got something. We got a present for you." And I immediately, when I hear that, I go, and a golf ball is rolled over to me, and it's a picture of Joe Biden, and under it says, "I'm lost."
Because it's a golf punt.
Because it's a golf ball.
That's
I see, Rob. I
terrific.
see you appreciate the humor in that.
That's
as well,
terrific,
right?
grand old party humor, Mike. It's so funny.
And I just left it.
Yeah,
I
you
just
should.
looked at it and left it. And then it went on, and it went
Just
on.
like your party.
It went on. What do you mean? What? What?
They just left Joe Biden. Joe Biden's gone.
Okay, that's
Just left him out to pasture.
you're a
That's good.
funny grand old party.
That's
guy.
good. I'll take that one. It doesn't bother me. But just,
You know,
please
it'd be great.
Go easy on me today, Josh.
What
please.
would really be good when you golfed, if you could get it, and I don't know if you can, but a Red Sox jersey that says Kamala Harris on the back.
So it went on.
I'm here to play.
There was a time in the middle of it where I could have gone full darkness
Oh, no.
because I was so pissed. And I just ate
What
it.
hole did you get?
I
at the
don't know
apex?
what. Let's just say it was in the middle when
Before the turn?
it was in the middle when, and I'll tell you what my really rational response was going to be that I didn't say. When they looked at me and said, and I'll get the look. You got to admit, it's probably the greatest political comeback in politics, in the history of politics. You got to admit that. You got to admit. And I look, you know what I wanted? I don't want to debate that. I was so pissed at this. I really just, what I really wanted to do was,
I think
although I calmed myself down, I took a deep breath, and from that standpoint, even though it killed me to say, yeah, it was a great political comeback. It was.
yeah.
Yes. So the answer was yes, and that made them happy. That made them happy.
What if you had said to them, a great political comeback at the expense of our nation? How about that? Could you have thrown it back at them at all? or
No,
were you
yes, of
outnumbered?
course, but then it doesn't help matters. It makes it worse, and it comes in, and then because I yielded, you think it's going to go away? No, it's not. I just want it to stop. I just want the whole thing to stop. It rolls off me like water off a ducky's back. I do not care. I move on because it's brief. But then after I did that, the one guy says, yeah, they tried to kill him. They tried to put him in jail. They tried to, and he still came out on top. And I wanted to go, I wanted to lose it.
Yeah.
I wanted to lose it, but it's like I don't have an in-between switch. I will be if you're lighthearted, I'll give you a little lighthearted banter.
Sure.
If you're doing that, pound, I go full saying something horrible.
Yeah.
And of course I would have been the one
I th-
guilty of that.
I think you could have shut him up with a little bit of looking forward to that third term.
Yeah, well, you know
No,
what?
because they
I
are
didn't have my
looking forward
writing
to the-
staff with me at that particular time.
They
Text me
are
next
looking
time. I'll
forward
help
to
you
the
out.
third
Yeah.
term. No.
What
they've
did
got-
you
But
say, Rob?
how How bad does that then affect your golf game? Are you able to focus when you get to the tee?
No, and that pisses me off more. And then the other guy who's riding with me, he's not as vocal, but he's on the same team.
Sure.
As I didn't say anything. And
Mike,
I'm a child. I want to get into, I wanted to scream. I wanted to scream.
He was just following orders.
I wanted to scream. It was so unpleasant.
Well, you got through it.
I came home.
What did you shoot?
And then 91. After shooting 80 and 82, I shot 91. And then
they love that.
Afterwards, I get a call from Mrs. O'Mara, and Mrs. O'Mara says, your son is, you've got to talk, something like you've got to talk to your son. And I'm going, he's been lippy. He's been really had an attitude towards his mother. And I've got and then the weight of everything began to crush. And I was in a blue funk until my eyes closed last night. It was not. Oh, and let's throw in one of the reasons he got in trouble is he ate my portion of the fried rice that I had that Carla was leaving for me when I came home last night.
That's
God,
father's rice.
Damn it.
Yeah.
My portion, she said, you'll see the portion he left you when you come home.
You're entering a grand era, Mike.
Let me give you the plate that it was on. All right,
Danny Thomas
it was that size. It was
just that little bit.
Yeah, it was just it was a little bit. So I
How
had
many chunks of chicken did he leave you?
And by the way, another thing is, we're doing better with bonus show subscribers, but we have to do better and better and better on this show. So this time of year, as anybody who knows the show will remember, is a stressful time for us. It's a stressful time because we are trying. By the way, throw in some. If anybody could give us a $40,000 super chat, that would be very, very appreciated today. So send it right along. Send it right along. That would be fantastic.
Are you listening, Bob McCarty?
There you go. That's great. Send along. Let's get $1,000 in super chats today.
Hey, you know what, Mike?
I'm not begging. I'm not.
How about a cocktail hour where we set a huge goal?
That's okay. We'll do that. We'll do that. Let's do it. Is anybody free Saturday?
I am.
Let's do it.
Let's do it Saturday. Let's do
All
it
right,
Saturday.
cocktail hour
party.
Saturday.
Cocktail party. It's Tuesday. We have enough lead time. We will do a TMOS cocktail party.
8 a.m. on Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday evening.
The
Saturday
telethon.
let's not do it 7. Let's do it at well, I don't know. I got to check my kids' baseball schedule.
Okay.
Oh God! It's just so the weight, the heaviness. Hello, heaviness, as Rodney used to say. Yeah. So what were you going to say?
That's also
Rob?
the time of year, Mike. And Easter's coming up, and that's always a crush.
There's only one good thing happened.
What's that?
Coming back from dropping my kid off at school today, and I'm sitting way down in the chair because I've been just gyrating and doing. There's one good thing. Okay. Massive car carrier out in front of the neighborhood. Car carriers where all of them
they're coming.
They're loading, and it's
they're getting
big
out.
One.
They're
It's
getting
a
out.
Big, they're getting out early prior to Easter. Bye-bye.
Well, they have to get back to Indiana for Easter because the kids are coming over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Josh, when is Oscar?
So
when is Oscar? No. When is?
Would you have
Easter?
Oscar on the brain because it's a tense time of year? Because this is the time of year where he went Amscray.
Yeah, I think
you
it was
obviously had it on the brain, right?
When is Easter this year?
Easter's the end of April. It's like the 20th.
That's late for Easter.
It's very late.
Oh man, we got to, us Christians, we got to get our.
Look
crap
at
together.
Rob just completely ignore his Freudian slip.
Yeah,
he just wants to move by.
Rob
Wants to hide under a table right now.
I think it was.
No,
today.
I want you to call attention to it.
I think your big fight was today, or tomorrow, a year ago.
No, because it was on Mike and my anniversary together, so it was April 3rd.
Okay, so Wednesday we get to
but
celebrate.
it's the same time of year.
Yeah. Oh,
2 days from
absolutely. Yeah. But the actual breakup show was our 32nd anniversry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, Josh is coming up very soon on his 1-year anniversary, and we kept on chugging, and
it'll be the cocktail celebration Saturday.
It'll be awesome, and
It'll be
so
the
join
first
us for.
year of
we'll do it. I will date time to be announced tomorrow. Or
Okay.
if I find out today, I will. We can post the time for the cocktail party shortly after we get.
But save the date.
Saturday.
What's the date?
But we'll do it Saturday.
Yeah.
What's the date?
The date is Saturday would be April 5th.
Very good.
Thank you.
All right.
And thank you, Chris Arnold, for the super chat.
Oh wow, thank you. That's great. We
He
appreciate
might have.
that.
He might have. That might be a keystroke error because that's not the number you asked for.
Well, thank you for Reese as well, who's getting
Reese
closer
is
to
getting
that number.
closer. Thank you.
All right, hold on. Now I'm going into the comments there. Oh, people are. Oh, wow, that's wonderful.
See?
I'm glad. So anyway, getting back to the whole thing, it was just weighing heavily on me yesterday, and I was in a funk. But then I realized this little sanctuary I have down here. And I'm talking about my studio, the room that I finally settled on, Rob, in this house where I come in. Josh has been in here. Rob has been in here. You know where I do this
It's
show
called
from.
the Spiewak bedroom. Because Mike has named all the rooms.
Yeah, and the making it a bedroom would be much more of a challenge now.
Well, there's a big dog bed on the floor.
There's a hello Murphy. There's a Murphy bed type of thing that you can fold out. If
It's a trundle.
it's
Oh,
a
the thing the
trundle.
monitor's on.
Yeah.
It's the monitor sitting on it, and but it's just I came in here and it's just cozy, and I realized that this is my happy place when I come in here, and that's what it's all about, and I think it's fun. And also,
Did you have a hard time getting up before you realized you had your happy space ahead of you? Like when you were in bed and the alarm goes off, you're like, got to get up. But then you realize
I have my fatherly responsibilities and Mrs. O'Mara's.
it doesn't change your
getting up
mood
to
when you
sleep.
open your eyes.
Yeah, but
is
I'm
what
not
saying.
I've never been a not get out of bedder. That's real depression if you get into a situation where you don't want to get out of bed.
It's like Brian Wilson from the Beach
that's,
Boys.
Yeah, if I'm just like, in the fetal position and you're like, I'm under a cover and you hear,
I don't want to get out.
No, that's not what you hear.
Hey,
You hear,
I don't want to go out of bed. Help me.
I'm going to stay in bed. Who can bring me my rice? Is
No.
there rice in there? Is there a portion of rice?
it's all gone. Got to make some new stuff
Right.
today.
Michael, try not to eat it while bringing it to me.
Yeah, I will make another batch today. I have to. It's the hot
Still
flavor of
chicken,
the
or are you
month.
going to do another meat?
That's a great idea.
You know what? Go get
Shrimp.
yourself some frozen
Shrimp.
shrimp. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And that's
but
what
anyway,
you should do at the party that you have to bring your chef's hat to. Shrimp fried rice.
Yeah, because a little more exotic than the chicken.
Yeah, and easier because you don't have to cook the shrimp in advance. You just
It's
put them
true.
in there.
Can do it all. That's fantastic. I
Mhm.
like that. See, that makes me happy. I'm very.
See?
I'm calm. And Mrs. O'Mara was wonderful last night. And
Look out.
She was terrific. No, she really helped me out because she's been going through it, as Josh knows.
Yeah.
This week, and nothing to do with our show, but still, very difficult. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. Chris Arnold, thank you. Reese, thank you. And fantastic. He said, "Damn decimal spots." That's funny. That's awesome. So welcome to the show. It's here. We're ready to believe you. We're very, very excited. And I just wanted to touch on one thing before the story goes away, because I know I'm late to the party with the earthquake in Myanmar, which also affected Thailand. But I have been fascinated with have you seen the videos of the high-rise pools in Thailand during the earthquake? Oh my God! First
What do
of
you mean
all,
a high-rise pool?
so these skyscrapers, primarily residential, swaying with the movement of the earth in the earthquake, and pools that are located way up high, at the penthouse, pouring water off the side. You haven't seen these videos?
No,
Oh my God. So apparently these buildings,
Didn't that also happen at the Downtown Grand?
the yellow snow. Well, I don't know why I immediately turned it into a P reference, but
Because of Joss's shower.
it was cold. It was cold. But You get these high rises. I'm not sure, Josh, whether you'll be able to find them or not, but they are swaying because of this horrible earthquake. And Myanmar, tremendous amount of devastation and loss of life. Very tragic situation. In Bangkok, they show a lot of videos because obviously big city, people taking camera shots with their phones and back and forth of these high rises. And apparently, not only do they have these pools at the top, but they are utilized for a stabilizing factor in the engineering of these buildings. And you see these pools, it's a phenomenal way to see what the earth is doing because these pools are just going back and forth and back.
Are the buildings advanced enough that they are designed with that sort of allowance for sway in earthquakes?
100%.
Okay,
Yeah, not all of them, but and I don't know if the ones with pools were all designed that way.
I've got a little video right here. Let's see how this
check
looks.
it out. Hopefully this is a good example of what I have been fascinated by and talking about. There we go. That's an example of it. This is a high rise. You see it's up at the top of a building. And now this is the earthquake. And this is what's happening. It's like you're out on the open ocean. And you see that little mini pool up there. By the way, the real estate in Thailand, weird things pop up on my feed. A lot of them advertise those kind of high-rise, structures and high-rise condos for people to invest in over in Thailand.
I was once in Singapore, and that's what they had there. A lot of high-rises with that, all with that glass pools at the top.
Yeah, and I guess it's an engineering factor. Another one I saw where these high-rises had a walking bridge connected to them, and that broke apart. And that, too, looked like it might have been by design, but I'm not sure about that one. But it's freaky. It's freaky to see that stuff. And we've been in, Rob, you and I have been in one together out in Santa Monica, right?
I've been in two earthquakes. The Santa Monica one is the one where I appeared the most stupid. Because
how so?
I was asleep. It was, I think, after we did a TV City thing for CBS. That's why we were in Los Angeles. And the night before, they put us in a hotel outside of Hollywood because we didn't need to be there anymore. And that was the last night before we flew out. And it was a courtyard hotel. And I heard ding, 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 ding. I said,
like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was exactly 3 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock in the morning.
I got up and I looked, and the hangers, I hadn't hung up any clothes, and there were metal hangers in the closet that were clanking because of the earthquake.
Yeah,
and
really
I didn't know what to. I was way high up, so I called the lobby, and I don't know if this was.
Did you have your hand on your head when you closed the when you called the lobby?
Did you not have your hand on your head when you couldn't talk? Maybe it would help. Try it.
Maybe if I do this.
Yeah, see? Josh, you too. Everybody,
but do the Rob. Can I ask why you do that? Does it
I
just
don't know.
feel good?
It does feel good, sure.
This is weird.
It's not that
It's like
weird.
you're stretching your neck when you're doing it. That's a good neck stretch, this. Have you ever stretched
That
your
looks
neck
like they're
this?
pulling you off stage at the Apollo.
Hey, he's not funny anymore.
Anyway,
we were
I
in the
called
same
down-
hotel,
yeah,
weren't we?
And I called down to the lobby, and this is so stupid. I said, "Hi, this is Mr. Spiewak in 1208, and we're having an earthquake up here."
Up here?
Yes, like it wouldn't be in the lobby. But they said, "Yes, sir, we know you may want to get to a door jam." I said, "Right on." So I went to the front door and I opened it, and it was a courtyard hotel, and you could see just everybody standing in their door jam. It was a sizey one.
Here's the video of your hotel.
Okay, let's see this hotel. There we go.
It's the bridge pulling apart.
Oh, there! Look at that. Look.
Oh,
It looks like it was designed that way.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I think
It
so.
really does. And you can see you can see the left building is noticeably swaying, and there's another walking bridge to the left. I don't know if that pulls away or not. But that's a great one right there with the pool water
See the water
pool water
spilling
coming
over?
just
off
falling
the top.
down, yeah.
I mean, really terrifying. I find it to be one of the most terrifying things to be a
But
part of.
you say that's part of the safety because
I believe that's what I read. I can't, do not hold me to that, but it's just stunning that they have these high rises. The one in California, I went down, I think I was on the 4th or 5th floor. I walked down the stairwell to the bottom because I wanted to get out of the building. And a lot of people were standing outside the building.
I
at
do
that particular
remember
time.
looking at the elevator cables because it was an open lobby, and they were just going like that.
When
we had that,
yeah, go ahead.
When we had that little earthquake in Northern Virginia,
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
we were in my house on.
I was
that one. I was
well,
in my house.
I was working in a rich guy's home at the time where he had an indoor pool. And besides some things falling over, that's the thing I remember is when getting out of the house, seeing the pool just go everywhere.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's
it
like
really
in,
is a great tell for an earthquake. You know,
Like in Jurassic Park when you see that glass of water.
The same thing. Yeah.
I got two things to add to the earthquake discussion. The one in California, and I can't tell you what year it was. My perception, I was lying in bed, it's 3:00 in the morning. I'm sleeping, and I thought the first thought I had was that the guys were busting my chops because we had an early flight, and they were busting my chops by that I'd overslept, and they were shaking my bed.
It is so.
That's how bad it was. Pretty violent in that.
It was.
one, right?
It's such a situation I'm not used to. Now the one in Virginia was. I have video of the one in Virginia. And
I never seen you looking so lovely as you did tonight.
right there, just took him out.
I like it when you chop him off like that too. That makes
I
me-
might come back to him. That's why.
Okay.
No, I was in the basement for the Virginia one, and keep in mind my basement is actually ground level. It's not a subterranean basement, not
Oh,
underground.
okay. All right.
So
get it.
I feel that rumble, and the kids are upstairs, and I swear I thought they were just misbehaving. So in the middle of the earthquake,
Stomping
I said,
around the house, right?
Can you cut it out?
Right.
And
Yeah.
meanwhile, it's an earthquake, and it was. I do remember it, but I do also remember yelling at my children.
Do you know? Here's a trivia question. Because
Yeah.
we talked about it on the show. Do you remember where I was when it happened?
Were you in a restroom?
Yes, good memory. I
That's a
was
good spot
on the
to be.
commode. I
You
was
caused
on the
it.
can. And that is an amazing place to feel it because, you're in this
I bet it
solid
was a very
piece of
satisfying-
porcelain.
was
It
it
was
satisfying
no,
BM?
satisfying's not the word I would use. But I noticed it. So what the? And I thought it was some big truck rumbling by.
Yeah,
out
it
on
felt a
the
lot
main
like that,
drag out
yeah.
there. It was,
I never seen you shine so bright.
When the other thing I remember about that was cool for me is I was on the phone with my office back in Bowie, Maryland at the time.
Oh, Bowie,
And
Maryland.
They
Yeah,
didn't know
by the
what I
way,
was talking
fantastic.
about
Okay.
when I said, hey, there's an earthquake. And then as I'm on the phone, they get it as well.
And then they
Oh, that's
realized
crazy.
Right. So
Yeah.
I can hear it over the phone line.
Did they interrupt the racing for that?
the Bowie racing. It was going on. Home of Kathy Lee Gifford.
That's right. Exactly.
Bowie,
right.
Maryland.
Kathy
Yeah.
Lee Johnson.
Yeah.
Gifford
Many
Nay
people,
Johnson. Yeah.
yes, many people refer to it as Bowie, Maryland, when they don't know. Just like they refer to Silver Spring, Maryland, as Silver Springs.
Yeah.
Maryland, and
Exactly.
put an S on it.
I think it's great. I accept all pronunciations.
So he said, why would they call it Bowie? I said, it's not a bad pronunciation. It really isn't a
Oh, I think it's marvelous. Some of it really fine.
So Bowie, I didn't know your office was in Bowie. I
Well,
lived my first one of my first residences in the great state of Maryland was right next door in fabulous Laurel, Maryland.
I've
at
been
the
there.
Willow
Beautiful
Lake
place.
Apartments.
I like that they've really sort of revamped that complex, Mike, and turned it into
My
what it
apartment,
could-
the Willow
Yeah,
Lake complex,
The Willow Lake compound where your cell phone was stolen.
out of the car.
Out of the car.
In the 2 minutes we were walking up to my apartment. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
But the guy who lived in your apartment was really cool. I remember that.
Yeah, because we actually knocked on the door, and there used to be, I'll tell you one apartment story. There used to be a lady who tanned, the pool was right outside of my second floor apartment.
Yes.
They were garden apartments. So I think
Of course.
only
It was
three-
like
only-
Melrose Place.
Only 3 floors. I had a lot of memories from that apartment. I really do. But I lived there probably less than 2 years, but I remembered a lot. Lady used to sit there, and she would tan.
Yeah.
And she had a different colored top and bottom, classy bikini, and it was this little strip of fabric, green bikini bottom that was loose and just covered her lady parts just very loosely. And I used to, occasionally
On a
just
scale of 10, 10
look
being
out the
as
window.
loose as
I used
possible.
to occasionally briefly look out the window for
How were
about
those
half an hour.
binoculars?
Yeah, she's lovely.
Maybe
next to
she
my-
plays for the Yankees.
Yeah, but of my super antenna, right next to my super antenna.
Oh, Channel 54.
There's gunplay.
Yeah.
There's crime. There's sex with the lady by the pool.
Yeah. What if you wanted to score some blow? Was that available? Not that you did, but was that
I got
available?
up to do a morning show at WYRE in Annapolis, Maryland.
Okay.
Back in the day, 81 W. Your AccuWeather and Tide timetable are brought to you by your official Chesapeake Bay Yacht Club's Association station.
Great
WYRE.
copy.
Brr, voice of the Bay, WYRE, marine weather.
Yeah, lots of elements. Jack Diamond put a lot of elements in WYRE.
That's fun.
Get up in the morning, super early, outside the Willow. Two things happened of a criminal nature. One, about 12:30 on a weekend, a guy screaming at the top of his lungs with his shirt off, outside of his car, outside of my window, having a passionate fight with his lady. Effer, right out there. And I said, this is living. This is quality living. And the other thing was there was a gathering of gentlemen that were probably more enjoying the nighttime than the morning time. They did not seem to be getting up to go to their jobs.
Creatures of the night.
And I noticed this 2 or 3 mornings in a row, and it appeared to me that something nefarious might be going on. And so being the good citizen and good Samaritan that I am, I said, you know what? I think, I work with a newsman who is very plugged into the state police and the local police in Annapolis. I think he told me to get a license plate. And that was Sonny Uberoth, the late Sonny Uberoth.
Okay.
My first. Would you like to see Sonny's at his typewriter like this?
Yep.
And you'll play the role of me, Rob.
All right.
And my very first day as the morning host of WYRE and Sonny's at his typewriter. And you give me a good morning greeting, all right?
Hey, good morning, Sonny. And you just flipped.
I should have known that radio was a weird business at that particular time. That's what it was. So he said, get the license. So I said, I'm going to be very tricky. And my car's parked in a side parking space. And then there are
What were you driving at this point?
probably a Toyota Tercel, a Ford Fiesta, or a Mitsubishi Cordia.
And I like there's no camera phone now. So what are you going to write it down? You have a pen and paper?
I'm gonna try to write it down. I had a pen in the car with an index card,
Right.
and I
As
back
all
out.
good DJs do.
And there are these 3 cars, and there are these gentlemen, 4 or 5 gentlemen, standing around the cars. And I back my car out, and then I'm looking over my shoulder to get the license plate number, and I look up, and one of the gentlemen is staring right at me. At the same time, I realize that the license plate is completely covered over with dirt.
That happens.
Or something that
Like he
so
could have
it
been
would
at a
be-
construction site or an
I was scared.
archaeological dig or anything.
And that's when you
scared.
gave up your private eye business?
That's when I gave it up and I started crying and I ran away. That's where it is. So,
I
oh, you were going to do it again? Is that what you were going to do?
just
Come
the
on, with your
taste,
call
Mike.
back. Play the stager. That's what we call it in the business. everybody.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's a stager. We'll take a short break. We've got some interesting news that I'd like to share with all of you. It's kind of all over the place, complete with a couple of surveys that will fascinate you, because surveys and lists are the backbone of this program. No, they're not. And we'd like to welcome a new sponsor as well to the show today. I'm going to tell you about them right now. I will say that this has to do with kitty cats.
Yeah.
Kitty cat. Is your cat having digestive issues? Throwing up their food?
Yeah.
Or in need of a diet upgrade?
Regurgitation, Mike. Bad.
If this is true, I have an answer for you. This podcast is sponsored by Smalls. That's the name of the company, Smalls Cat Food. They have protein-packed recipes made with preservative-free ingredients that you'd find in your fridge. And it's delivered right to your door. That's why Cats.com named Smalls their best overall cat food. And you can get 35% off plus an additional 50% off your first order. Head over to smalls.com and use code TMOS for a limited time only. Customer Elizabeth said, My cat was always so-so with her usual food, but she is very enthusiastic about Smalls. Her breath is much better, and she poops much less frequently. And it does not smell disgusting like it used to. Yeah. So, what's not to like? After switching to Smalls, 88% of cat owners reported overall health improvements. That's a big deal.
It is.
Plus, you can try it risk-free. That means they will refund you if your cat won't eat their food. So, what are you waiting for? Give your cat the food they deserve. For a limited time only, because you are a Mike O'Mara Show listener, you can get 35% off Smalls plus an additional 50% off your first order by using my code, TMOS. That's an additional 50% off when you head to Smalls Cat Food. No, it's smalls.com.
Right.
I just like saying Smalls Cat Food. You go to smalls.com, use promo code TMOS again, promo code TMOS for an additional 50% off your first order, plus free shipping at smalls.com. All the cool cats love it. Now, I'm enthusiastic sharing this with you. If you'd ask any cat, a cat would say, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just the way they roll.
Non-committal. Yeah.
That's the way they do
Until
it.
they get the Smalls, then they go crazy. They love
Smalls cat food, Rob. That's what it is. Hey, where are my green reading glasses? There they are. Yes, sir. All right.
Those
I'm a well-oiled machine today.
You should have had those for St. Patrick's Day.
Here's something gross, weird, and sad.
Thank you, Mike.
Disturbing.
Appreciate
all of those
the
things.
introduction.
Body cam footage exists of police finding the bodies of Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy back in February. Pictures were also taken, and there are people who want that material released. Yoshi,
Josh, why is that? Why do you want to see them?
why are you putting him on the spot? Why are you doing that to this poor boy?
Because we
Please.
don't have Pony anymore.
We don't have Pony to put on the spot.
Plus, I thought I'd give it to AI for some puppets.
Yeah. Will I ever get a real puppet? Real
Yeah, I'll
new
work
puppet?
on it.
Thank
And
you.
can you
said
put
that
Gene
yesterday.
Hackman in our puppet tableau?
Stop it. Yoshi
In the background.
Feaster is not a person who wants this release, and she may have a legit claim because she was Gene's mother-in-law. 95-year-old Gene Hackman had a mother-in-law. Probably like my modern family where it's a younger mother-in-law. Remember, Betsy was only 65. Yoshi was her mother. She's 91 years old. And she'd like to keep pictures and video of the bodies under wraps. I'm with her 1,000%. Come on now.
Oh, you think the mother-in-law
She
killed
killed
them?
him. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
This is not a sensitive room, ladies and gentlemen. Not
Excuse
even
me, sir. I
close.
got one more question for you about your son-in-law.
Boy, oh boy. Josh, I know you've loved this show for a long time and you've been associated with other programs, but sometimes you'll say something that really, really indicates you have found your place with that screen at the bottom of the picture. I really
love
believe
it.
so.
Yeah.
She killed that. Makes me laugh always. So she was 91. She thinks they should grieve in peace, the family. In legal documents, she said she has, quote, a constitutional right to avoid seeing images of my daughter's home, her dead body, her husband's dead body, and their dog's corpse. I could not agree with her more. A New Mexico judge ruled yesterday the photos and video from the scene can be released, but any images of Gene and Betsy can't. Good.
So what, are we going to look at their sofa?
No, they're blurred out. Like when you see a body on videos with police cams.
How do
they're
we
blurred
know
out.
that they weren't dead so long that the bodies themselves were blurry?
This is, as I said, not a sensitive. Yes, you do. Not a sensitive.
Of
room.
course, we do send
I was
our,
trying to be as sensitive as I can, and obviously
we
that,
send our empathy and sympathy to the old mother-in-law.
By the way, Rob will say what after this first paragraph for the next story. A new study found men literally can't hear as well as women.
What?
And
you didn't need to set it up. I would have done it anyway.
it was funnier since I set it up.
You're right.
And let me see. It probably comes down. There's nothing you can do about it. It probably just comes down to anatomy. Scientists tested people's hearing in different countries, not counties, around the world,
Different counties.
and found it's true everywhere.
I'm in Fauquier County. How do I hear?
Ricola. The average woman has a 2 decibel advantage and up to 6 decibels with some frequencies. That's not a lot, but it's significant enough to make a difference. They think it might just come down to hormones or how our ears develop in the womb. I'm someone who, if you're in a crowded restaurant and you want to have a conversation with me, I won't necessarily pick it up, but I can hear a door opening and closing out on the street outside my concrete walled house very easily. It's weird. I don't.
It's the frequency of women's voices.
I think
it's right in the middle, and we've trained ourselves to ignore it.
Rob actually has a skill, Josh. I'm not sure
I do.
whether you're aware of it, but Rob has actually been able to, without any special effects, with his own voice, duplicate the frequency that women can hear. If you'd like to hear that right now, give us an example of the frequency that women hear.
For example,
easily.
let us say your wife left you a grocery list.
Right.
And
she wanted to read it to you.
Right. And she'd go, oh, and
Thank you.
bananas.
Thank you very much.
Bananas.
So it's a lot, the difference between men and women. They think it's possible women's brains are better at processing sound, too. So when it comes to hearing,
I'm so
Man,
sure.
this is one where the news really, in my opinion, was like about a 4, and the doing it now has turned it ramped it all the way up to an 8. When it comes to hearing, men might have worse ears and inferior brains. I'm just the messenger.
Yeah,
all
and that's
I am
why
here.
we're doctors and they're nurses. I get it.
The study also found that regardless of gender, we all tend to hear out of our right ear a little better than our left. They're not sure why. This will make this is interesting. You know how I know that?
How?
From listening to the mechanical functions of my automatic watches, to listening to my watches tick, essentially. I hear better out of my right ear.
I think it's because the left ear gets dirtier when you sleep.
filled with all
Well,
sorts of
my left ear
horrible
is
things.
always dirtier than my right. I know it's gross, but I think it's because I sleep on my side.
Yeah, and all the leavings.
Yeah.
Drain. Christmas came early for Looney Tunes fans. I know you're a fan, Rob.
Yes.
The Coyote versus Acme movie is going to come out after all.
Finally. This is great.
Warner Brothers spent $70 million making the movie, in which Wile E. Coyote finally sues the Acme company over the many faulty products that hindered his attempts to capture the Roadrunner.
I love it.
Then they shelved this movie as part of a write-off. So it was a financial decision by the studio. But they had a change of heart and sold it to a company called Ketchup Entertainment, which is going to put it in theaters. There's no word when. The movie is a mix of animation and live action. It also stars Will Forte and John Cena. I like to call Will Forte Bill Hader Light.
Oh, he's
That's,
not even that.
No, I don't think he is.
No.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Will Forte.
How does that affect them if they wrote it off their taxes last year and
Maybe
now they sell it?
They reprise it, right? Is that how they do it? I don't know.
I understand, and this is just a rumor, that Hollywood is full of clever accountants. They'll figure
That's what
it
it
out.
sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wants to say something more, but he knows he can't.
No, Mike, they're just clever accountants. They know what they're doing.
Shredded lettuce, Rob. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West have 4 kids together, even though Kanye didn't want any. In a new interview, Kanye says, quote, "I didn't want to have children with this person after the first 2 months of being with them, but that wasn't God's plan." Well, God's plan was in your wiener. I mean, really, Kanye. Kim and Kanye's kids are 11, 9, 7, and 5. Oh, and by the way, Kanye showed up to the interview in a black KKK outfit. There you go.
That's
there he is,
fine.
making the news again. You know, I mean, really.
If it's a black KKK outfit, though, is it really like signature?
I don't know. You'd have to see it. I know there's a picture of it floating around out there somewhere. He always
Remember,
did.
Mike, my 7th grade American history teacher, when we were studying the Reconstruction, brought in a KKK robe and said it was a donation from one of his students.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyone
How
who
he
goes to
acquired that.
Longfellow Intermediate in the mid-1980s would remember Mr. Jameson. and
Was
Did
any
his
you-
name
KKK robe.
sewn into it?
Do you perceive Mr. Jameson as someone that may have had that in his closet, you know, as
It's
as
funny,
his
Mike.
own?
His name was Preston Jameson. He went by Press, which I thought was funny. But he had I'll just say this, he had a thick Southern accent.
There you go. brought my robe in. According to a new survey, the average American spends 138 minutes worrying every day. That's a long time.
That is.
2 hours and 18 minutes, almost the exact length of a Star Wars movie called The Force Awakens. I don't know who got that stat or who
Sounds
cares
about right.
it.
Yeah.
See, I worry about people that would take the time to do that. There are a lot of motivational quotes about how worrying is a waste of time and energy, but that doesn't stop people from obsessing over
Right.
stuff. In fact, 10% of young adults schedule dedicated worry time in their daily routines.
Oh,
That
those
doesn't
must
sound
be
real.
fun people.
Only about 3% of those 45 and older intentionally make time for it. Why do they do that? Maybe they think worrying will be productive. Now, they probably say it's thinking or planning or whatever. It sounds weird to me, but there are a lot of percentages here. Millennials, 62% of millennials and Gen Zers say they're constantly feeling anxious. That makes sense. It's
Yeah.
gotten to be a more complex and scary world, I
Yeah.
believe. 38% of older folks so the older folks, that would make sense too. Worry a lot less. At a certain point, when you get to be a certain age, you just realize there's not that much time left anyway. So
Yeah.
why
I just
do you
feel
have to do
sorry,
it?
Mike. I feel sorry for the youngsters.
Yeah, the kids. Many people find themselves worrying when they're trying to fall asleep. A ranking of the top things people worry about includes finances, followed by stuff like family, things you need to do, health, work, politics, and getting enough sleep, which I think is important for everybody.
My main
That's
worry
the
factor didn't make the list.
What was
is,
that?
I worry about Gene Hackman's mother-in-law.
And the pictures.
And I do worry about the pictures.
But people are arguing with her, and they're saying, what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week?
The last goddamn time.
Finally today, the latest survey of voters has some interesting results. 67% of 10,000 likely voting Americans say they consider Donald Trump as an American hero. Weird. This survey included both Democrats and Republicans, along with independent registered voting age individuals. Reasons for the answer included mental toughness, physical presence, patriotism. The survey took place between February and March and was published by April Fool's Magazine.
Oh, you.
That's for all those guys yesterday. This is my payback, man. This is my payback, man.
Excellently played, because we didn't expect it.
Yeah, didn't it sound like a real news story?
It really did.
Yeah, all right. Named Dulles Airport. We'll be right back with more fun and more thrills. You're listening to the Mike O'Mara Show. Whoa, whoa, ladies and gentlemen. We love Cremo. I am telling you, it's on me every day, either with cologne, body wash, or their deodorant. It is good stuff. Here's the problem with body care stuff. It all smells so boring. Men's products need more variety. That's why I love Cremo. You deserve freedom from sweat and stink. Cremo's deodorant is designed to provide men with 48-hour odor protection. Cremo products are all barber grade. They're made with pride, professionalism, and passion. Oh, the stuff smells so good.
It really does. It just smells
guarantees you quality without compromise. Elevate your deodorant experience with Cremo's two latest signature scents. Italian Bergamot is bright, fresh, and robust, while Palo Santo, sounds like Jack Kent Cooke should say, Palo Santo is deep, smoky, and refined. They both smell wonderful, and they're both totally different. Remember, deodorant isn't just for smelling good. The scent you choose sets the tone of how you present yourself. Cremo helps men make an unforgettable impression every time. I love the stuff. I wish I could smell it every day in my own nostrils instead of in my pits. I wish you could smell me right now.
I'll be
I
right
mean
over.
that.
Yeah.
Head to Target or Target.com to find Cremo's new line of antiperspirants and deodorants in the Italian Bergamot and Palo Santo scents. Once again, that's Target or Target.com. We love it, and you will too. Wonderful new sponsor. We are delighted to have you with us. All right.
You mentioned Jack Kent Cooke. Do you think he ever used body wash?
He probably did a homemade type of,
I would
it's
say he
like-
probably had the help make soap.
grind up mint.
Fresh, well, no, but first he'd have to render down the fat to make the soap. and
Render
then
the
add
fat
mint.
from one of the dead horses and grind up some mint and put it on it so we can have
Kent
it,
Cooke's
ladies and
horse
gentlemen.
soap.
All right, so we have got a dating technique that I know nothing about.
Okay.
And I do want to get Josh to the Yankee bats at a certain point. Maybe we can do that in the next segment. But I want to talk about what's called, Rob brought this to us, floodlighting dating.
Yeah, I read about this on the Huffington Post, and it's apparently a new trend, and I don't know if it's a good idea or not. Do you think you would, if you like met someone on a first date and they just totally opened the floodgates and told you everything about themselves, good and bad, would that be a turn on or a turn off?
Be a red flag.
I would think so.
It was,
Yeah,
I think
yes.
it would be
Don't
turbo
return.
weird.
Well, it goes back, this term goes back to 2012, but what it is people do it as a way to fast track a relationship. Like, for example, if I
Okay.
was on a dating app and I went up to someone and they said, "How are you?" I'd say, I'm a disc jockey who never really got to where I wanted to be and I'm recovering from alcoholism, and I talk a lot and I make bad jokes. How are you? It would be me giving all the information about myself that's bad.
Is that the style that you're supposed to
And is it-
use, or are you supposed to? I mean, like, would you?
Is it all
isn't
negative?
Yeah, it's letting people know all the stuff. Here's the example from Huffington Post. It says, you might be on a date and say, "Hey, I'm an only child. I hate my dad. I'm on a cleanse. I have a ton of debt. And technically I'm banned from Walmart. Can you handle that?" And whether or not they can handle it, is whether or not you can proceed with the relationship.
With the White Lotus that we've all been watching,
Yes.
the scene comes to mind with the lovely Thai couple that are having a dinner together, and he does not have the chip to be a tough guy,
Right.
And she doesn't like that at all.
No.
She wants him to be a tough guy. He is, to me, probably the most frustrating character on the show. He's so timid. He's so meek.
No, he's
know.
not nearly as bad as the hotel manager.
Yeah.
he drives me
Yeah, the
That-
hotel
they're-
manager's worse.
They're good at the weak characters, but I know you gave it a thumbs down. I know you said no. I find them building up to the crescendo to be pretty interesting.
Hope the
you know?
last episode is 6 hours long then, because they can't resolve everything in 50 minutes.
Well, I mean, in last Sunday's episode, a lot of stuff was unresolved, but they resolved a couple of things. They
What
took
troubles
care of
me-
Walton Goggins for you, right?
No, they
What
didn't.
trouble- what-
it's
well,
still
sort of.
open.
What
Well, but
troub-
he seemed satisfied. That last picture of him, he'd gotten the closure that he needed. He realized the guy was too old and frail, that he's not going to put a bullet in his head. That's what I
he
got.
roughed
from
him
it.
up a little bit.
He roughed him up a little, but he got closure. You don't think so?
No.
I
He's
don't
not
think enough.
engaging. Think about this for a
And
second.
now he goes back to the guy's resort.
Yeah, but think about this.
To go see Tooth.
He's not engaging with all the tomfoolery that his alcoholic partner in crime is doing, and he's sitting there at the very end of the episode with a satisfied smile on his face. Maybe the first time he smiled in the entire episode. That's what I pulled from it.
I wanted more. I wanted more.
I know.
And
you-
I went the other direction. I thought he was just dead inside at that point, at that end scene. Because wasn't his alcoholic partner sober for like 3 years or something
his,
before
his
that?
alcoholic partner
he's
fell off
destroyed
the
his
wagon
life.
when they were trying to do the ruse on the old lady.
Right.
But maybe I'm more into. We may have passed in the night where I'm now more into White Lotus than both of you. I will tell you, Rob, you might be the final word on this. Did you think he'd achieved closure?
I do.
during
I
that?
do. And that's what disappointed me.
Do you
is
think
I-
it's going to result in a happy ending when he finally gets back? And I'm not talking about that happy ending,
Well,
which you
that's-
can find in Thailand.
Of course.
Trust me. But getting
Oh,
back to the
That's where I was waiting for the friend.
hotel. Yeah.
Oh,
a lot
no.
of nudity in the episode. Do you think it's going to result in some sort of happy resolution when he gets back to the resort?
I don't think so. There's not a lot of happy endings in the White Lotus franchise.
This is
As
true.
it doesn't really happen. And I'm right now, I watched the episode and I applaud that lady for being an actress and getting out there and being Walton Goggins' girlfriend and doing a great job. It's a complicated character, but I got to bring it up. The teeth.
Real or prosthetic?
They're real.
You've read about it?
Yeah, and there comes to think about being proud and doing it, but here's the problem: if she looks serious at the camera like this, like she's beautiful,
She is.
and then she smiles and she looks like Barney from The Simpsons.
It is one of the things that I have grown to like about the show is her level of uniqueness that makes her attractive. We have grown, at least I have grown to find her more attractive.
She could floss
during
with
the
a,
show.
with a Twizzler.
But
Her
I mean,
teeth
you
don't
can't
even
get
touch.
beyond the teeth. I
I'm
have gotten
trying,
beyond
man.
the teeth.
I am
not,
trying.
Not that it's not a thing still,
Right.
But
when she smiles at the camera, she looks special.
you have,
I think they
not been
play it
able
up
to-
for the show.
they
I
play it
hope
up
so.
to a degree, including the last episode with a super close up, almost everything except like zeroing in on her mouth entirely. Rob, I
Here,
believe
here she
that-
is on an interview.
Oh, so they are fake teeth?
I
think
read
it-
they were real.
No, those aren't real.
it
Those
looks
the White
different.
Lotus that's a totally different smile. So they are prosthetic.
Then it's a choice.
Why do you come and say something when you don't know it?
Mike? I read that they were real
Where?
teeth.
Where? Source it.
The
Are
internet.
They, why don't you could look up and say, are they her real teeth?
I'm
we
doing
need
it
to
right
know.
now.
Okay.
But
You-
I mean,
you
I
lied. Hold on, I got to get the sound for that. Hold on a second. All right.
Whoa.
Rob said that those were her real.
They
teeth.
might be.
Well,
And
but that picture.
No, they look completely different.
Right.
I don't know. Vanity Fair wrote a whole article about how they're inspiring to show that you don't have to have perfect veneers.
Yeah, and she says to People Magazine, it's always shocked when she gets called back for a role because of her teeth, and she also says she has a unique look and that her teeth. This doesn't say that they're fake. It does not at all.
That is a lie.
Stop.
Can I see that picture again of her? Because that does not look like the character she plays. She's
think
not
it's-
capable of smile. Could she be smiling
Yes,
and
she's
covering up
hiding
the
it.
teeth?
She's hiding it because I'm pulling up another picture now.
And she says she feels rebellious for not having veneers, and that she didn't think that her teeth would allow her to
There it
become
is.
an actress
Then
in
Rob,
America.
Yeah.
okay.
See, there's the teeth.
Rob, my sincere apologies to you. You're right. Look, so if you put your lower lip over those teeth, it's you cover them up.
Right, but
You
she plays it up because she knows how to not highlight them.
And also, you can get little, clip-on things. It's called a diastema when you have a split in your teeth, I believe, and you can get a clip to fix it.
You know what? We're still talking about it. It's the number one record-setting series on HBO. It really is. People
Do you
are
think it would be
watching that
good
bad.
on the final episode if they have a scene where it's Walton Goggins and she's back, and I don't know her name, and I'm sorry, but we'll call her Goggins' girlfriend, and he's found resolution, and she's happy that he's found resolution, and they're eating dinner at the White Lotus Resort, and she takes a bite of mashed potatoes and then does like this and lets them
Squishes them
stream
through her
out
teeth.
like a
Yeah.
Play-Doh Fun Factory. See, now I'm watching.
I'm all in, and
I'm not going to miss it. I can't miss it.
Yeah, I'm too invested.
It
Yeah.
is. A lot of people are. A lot of people are watching this. A lot going on, and interesting. It really, really. I think she's an incredible actress.
Yeah.
I think she's probably the best actress on the show, in my opinion. I mean, Parker Posey's phenomenally funny, but that young lady is doing a great job. We got totally off the subject of floodlighting, which is giving too much information. That, to
Well-
me, would scare the crap out of me if somebody did that.
It is sort of like waterboarding someone on a first date. But if you're out there, and you don't want nonsense, maybe
Yeah.
it's a good idea.
You
tell
find
them
out
all
if somebody likes you for you. That's why instead of floodlighting, whenever I would go on a dating site, I would show the picture with my prosthetic teeth. That's what I would do every single time. We would come back. We are running late as usual, ladies
Nah,
and
we're
gentlemen. Yeah, some of it really fine. Yeah, some of it absolutely fine. We will take a break, come back with more fun and more thrills. You are listening to the Mike O'Mara Show. Dodo. Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you have the horn?
Oh yeah. I didn't know that was the spot here. I thought.
Yeah,
I
it's
put that
time for the
last.
Jimmy's
My
Old
bad.
Town Tavern Kentucky Derby Party commercial.
Saddle up. It's Derby time. And the Michael Mara Show Kentucky Derby Party is racing your way. Join us Saturday, May 3rd at 5 p.m. at Jimmy's Old Town Tavern for a night of fun. And fun makes it around the final stretch. And laughter, food, and drinks. And, of course, the big race. Gentlemen and ladies, bring your boldest, fiercest, most fabulous hats. It's fabulous hats and Jimmy's fantastic sense of humor. Fabulous hats and Jimmy's sense of humor. Fabulous hats by a nose and Jimmy's sense of humor. Legendary ladies' hats. Legendary's ladies' hats is coming on strong, and now it's Think Big Feathered and Fabulous Hats. Yes, sirree. Anyway, we're doing a ladies' hat contest for men and women. By the way, real and or wax fruit is optional. Rob is hitting that hard because he wants someone to be wearing a Carmen Miranda hat. That's what he wants. The best part, it's free. So mark your calendars, rally your crew, and RSVP now. You definitely want a reservation for this event because you like to sit. We know our listeners like to sit.
They're sedentary people, Mike.
Just call 703-435-JIMS.
Wow. No, that's not it. There should be a period after that. 703-435-JIMS.
Yes, that's the number.
It's not the way you wrote it. If I was not realizing there are only 4 last numbers, I would say call 703-435-JIMS. Wow. That's 703-435. No, it's 703-435-JIMS.
You have to spell that out on your phone.
Punctuate,
J-I-M-S.
please.
Yes.
All this Kentucky talk takes me back to the years I worked in the bourbon distillery. I can still taste the barrels and smell the customers. Fun. See you Saturday, May 3rd at Jimmy's Old Town Tavern. And remember, the odds are you'll have a cotton picking blast. Remember, because it's important, people can call Jimmy 703-435-JIMS or email Danielle.Jimmy'sOldTownTavern@gmail.com.
I didn't write the email address, Mike.
Danielle.Jimmy'sOldTownTavern@gmail.com.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Just
for
out
a reservation. We appreciate that.
Or yell out your window.
Josh?
Yes.
Josh?
What are the Yankees doing to their bats?
Oh, they're cheating. But not really. It's legal.
They're called torpedo bats?
They're called torpedo bats. So,
Bastards.
So if you look at a normal baseball bat, it's got the label up high where the thickest part of the bat is.
Yeah, I got a sickness for
and
the
there's
thickness.
a rule for the baseball bats for how much that barrel, how wide it can be. And what the Yankees are doing is using analytics and moving that part. So here's a torpedo bat.
It looks like a candle pin.
It looks like a juggling pin.
Legal?
It's legal because
And
what they're doing.
They had to check that obviously before they put it in play. Okay.
And what
are
they're doing is moving that thicker part of the bat that's normally always on the end of the bat down to where the players are making contact the most.
Can I see it again? Because it really kind of looks like
So
a design.
that's why you'll see how at the end now it narrows down.
Yeah. Okay. How are they doing this season? What's their record?
Well, it got a lot of attention on Saturday as they hit 9 home runs. Including 3 by Aaron Judge.
Whoa!
And through the first 3 games, they have 15 home runs
And
as a team.
Is this a Yankee product only, or are other MLB teams allowed to have these bats?
Other MLB, it's legal. So every MLB team that didn't already look into it did on Saturday.
And this will be probably, if it's legal, this
It's
will
gonna
make
go
its way.
league-wide.
This will make its way down through all the leagues, and you will have probably aluminum bats with the same shape. This
is
will
sad.
change the game.
This is sad because the White Sox just bought a new bat.
Right. I don't think it's going to have to affect aluminum bats because it's
Okay.
all about moving that sweet spot.
All right.
But I do know, at least I know for the Orioles, that Adley Rutschman the very next day was playing around with one.
In
So,
a game situation.
I don't know if he used it in game or pre-game, but I saw he was testing it out.
I'm unclear. You say these are aluminum or wooden bats?
No, they are wooden bats. They are just shaped differently.
Yeah,
So
and
that the-
MLB uses wooden bats.
Okay.
You can't use an aluminum bat in the major league.
You'd kill
Okay.
someone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What
But-
about has Louisville Slugger jumped on board yet? Because where are they getting these made?
Yeah, the manufacturer, I would imagine. Would
I
be...
think Victus is making them.
Okay.
I'm not
Not
sure.
from Temu?
No.
Oh, okay. Temu?
Yes.
How many watches did you order?
I didn't. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. I wanted to, but I couldn't. However, you know what I did? I've been like probably at least 45 minutes of my time yesterday looking for golf bags, golf cart bags.
On
and
Temu?
looking on Temu. And then I ended up
fit like 2 clubs.
No, there's one that here's where they got me, and maybe I'll get some help from the listening audience.
Okay.
Finally I get to a point where I'm looking at these really deluxe, heavy duty tour bags, and you see them all the time. They're the kind of things that are carried on the PGA Tour. You see those. I like them. There's more storage. I put my golf bag on. I use a cart most of the time because I'm infirm that way.
Yeah,
I don't need
also
a walking.
sedentary. Yeah.
I don't need a walking bag. That makes me sound so old. But it's just the truth.
I usually use a cart when they're yelling at me for being liberal. I just sit in the cart and they yell at me.
Yeah, so's your old man. Anyway, I do this, and I find I will tell you that the real nice tour bags that you will see
And
from
it's
like
a
Titleist and stuff.
Great one.
It's a great one, Rob. Would be upwards of the upper $300 to $400. That's how
Okay.
expensive they are. I saw online on Temu the same quality, and they even had the specs with the height, about 35 inches.
Sure.
That's the normal height of a golf bag. I checked all the measurements. I actually went into my garage with a tape measure to double check the measurements, because they actually put it on the ad, and they said free shipping. Well, on a lot of these sites, if you're getting these golf bags from Asia, it's $150 to ship.
Easy. Yeah.
It's crazy. So I go there. They say free shipping, and you know the price?
How much?
$67. Now hold on a second. $67.
Yes.
And then I'm doing it. I said I'm pulling the trigger on this just to see if it's legit, because I want to really just see if it's legit. This is not me thinking that it's a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination, but I get to the checkout and it says shipping not available at your default address. And then I go in and I can't get answers on why this would be. It's because there are people that have reviewed this and said it's legit. Do you guys, have you ever had that where they said shipping not available?
No. I actually spent some time on Temu yesterday, Mike, and before you buy your $60 golf bag, they were selling what they said were Shure SM7 microphones, which is about a $250, $300 mic, even more if it's brand new.
Uh-huh.
And they were selling them for $29.
Okay.
And I checked the reviews, and it said, seems to be a Shure SM7, but it doesn't have the Shure logo on it.
But
no, that's okay. It's all about quality.
Yeah, and it's quality. How much is it?
It was like $39 or $29.
Almost worth just to experiment
I
pulling
know,
the trigger.
that's what I was thinking. But
Do you think that's a strategy, though?
Well,
Josh is the last one who really ordered something from Temu, and he says it is exactly like the one on Amazon that's 300%
Yeah,
more.
but don't you think a fanny pack is a little less, has less requirements than a Titleist golf bag?
To a degree, but yeah, go ahead, Josh.
No,
what are you going to say?
well, that's what I was going to say. I don't know golf bags, but I know microphones. So I looked up the 7B.
Okay.
And they've got it right here. And the first review says, I don't know where these come, if these come from the same factory as the real SM7Bs, but they sound and look so close that the only way I could tell the difference between this and the real one is that the Shure sticker is missing.
There's the review. Would you do it? Well, first of all, it's all need as well, Rob. You don't
Right.
necessarily.
I don't
you collect
need it,
them, but you don't need one.
But
you
wouldn't it be great if you could figure out a way to resell it for $200?
Well, here's what I found. I'm not going to pop for I got so far as to look at a forwarding service that is designed to do that, but I'm not sure I can afford to take the chance if it's going to be the forwarding service. But it's like I got the impression they're on that level, I took a giant step backwards because they're lying. It's a lie that they say free shipping, and then they say, well, no, we don't ship because it costs
Did you try
too much
our
money.
addresses?
Ooh. I'll get back to you.
I don't need a golf bag.
They're for me, Rob.
And you can forward it.
Mike, speaking of Temu, I worked with Elvis's head yesterday. As is people, if you
spent a
missed
lot of time on
yesterday's show,
Temu.
first of all, shame
We
on
did.
you.
It's been a fascinating subject to see legit, not legit. I think it's a mixture of both. I think there's some things that are crap, and there's some things that are legit. Do you have the completed Elvis?
No,
keychain?
I didn't have time because I tried to reverse this. Remember, I put his face sticker on upside down.
Which really was difficult because that sticker was probably permanent after you got it on.
So I peeled the sticker off. Remember when I said tweezers? I used tweezers and I carefully found a corner and I peeled the sticker off. And what I realized is the face doesn't stay on the sticker. It transfers to the piece. It's like a decal, almost like a tattoo. Yeah. So I pulled the plastic off and his face was still on upside down. So I said, well, this sucks. So I tried to scrape it and that didn't work.
Scrape it off? Well,
Yeah.
you're not going to preserve the face if you do.
Well, I know. Well, Mike, I tried to preserve it. You know what I tried to do?
Time to get a Sharpie.
Hold it. Don't look ahead.
Okay. See, great
See,
minds think alike.
I looked at it and I scraped and I said, there's no way I can fix this. And said, aha. So I put the decal back on the face and carefully pull it off. And it takes the mouth, but it leaves the eyes.
Wait. You're not communicating this. You put the decal back on the face?
Yeah,
What?
well, imagine like you're doing a tattoo, right? And you put a tattoo, a kid's tattoo. You put it on your arm.
I got it.
And you pull it back and it's on you.
Yeah.
And then you're left with the piece of paper that it was on.
Right.
This kind of decal was so based on sticky, I thought I could put that piece of paper back to peel the face off.
Okay.
And I got half of it.
Okay.
But it wasn't. So I went back to scraping. That didn't work. Lighter fluid will remove those decals. It turns
So you
out.
completely cleaned it off.
I did. And then
Okay.
I looked at it and he looked so blank. So I got a brand new Sharpie.
Super fine point.
Yep. And look, there's
Look at
Elvis's face.
Look at that.
Better than the decal.
And you'll notice he's sneering a little bit on his left side.
So
And
you improved it.
I think
Yeah.
I did.
It's a
I think
spitting
I did.
image.
Would I be putting you on if I said, please, can you have the completed key tag tomorrow with the cape? Because I'd sure like to look at it.
Thank
I
you
really
for
would.
remembering the details.
The cape. I want to see the Elvis key tag tomorrow if we can. That'll
We
be
can do
that'll be a
that.
fantastic
Mike, and maybe
idea.
not just one, because
That's
maybe I'll
exciting.
get good and do the red one too.
Josh, I will probably transcribe all of the addresses at the end to see if I can pop
send me
another
the
one
link.
in there. That's exciting. Or I'll send him the link. That's cool. We will take a break and come back with beautiful video. You, ladies and gentlemen, are listening to the Mike O'Mara Show. Elvis needs boats. We'll be right back, everybody. This program is sponsored by, I don't have my red cup today. I burned through a lot of them, and I left some of them in the studio, so they are being washed right now as we speak. This program is sponsored by Liquid IV. Times are hard. Treat yourself. Treat yourself by gifting yourself everyday indulgence of extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV. It's powered by Live Hydroscience. That's a registered trademark. You see me drinking it daily. I don't like to do the show without Liquid IV. Flavors, all of them, they're great. They've got the lemon lime, raspberry lemonade, which I just got. I'm drinking the white grape I'm drinking the white peach because I love that one. Pina colada, all sorts of flavors. You're going to love them. White peach, numero uno on my list. Low-key delicious. Unlike sports drink, Liquid IV delivers, or sports drinks, Liquid IV delivers 3 times the electrolytes, 8 essential vitamins, and is always non-GMO, vegan, and allergen-free. I've been telling you these facts for years. Listen up. Try some Liquid IV. Liquid IV is so clutch. Tear, pour, live more. Do you put that in there? Now, when you chuckle, that means you're putting it in there
It's his own joke.
to have me sound like a old man trying
to make you
read
sound hip.
kids jargon. No, you're a liar. You're a liar. You're mocking me.
Mike,
Take it out.
how
Take
long
it
have
out,
we
and
worked-
don't
no,
put the
no.
stuff in there about me drinking the liquid. I'll do that on my own, for God's sakes. It messes
Mike,
me up.
here's
What?
the deal.
What?
I'm going to continue to do it because it's great.
Tear, pour, live more. Liquid IV. Treat yourself to extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV. 20% off your first order when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code TMOS at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with Liquid IV, code TMOS at liquidiv.com. There we go. God.
Hey, I like that. Some beautiful video.
Oh, Mike, here's one of your friends.
Charlie, Stu, and Snapple at WAVA.
So they were pissing so much money away at WAVA. They were buying jingles for fake people.
Yes, they were. Yeah, we were top of the hill. We were
Did
top
they
of the
know
food
it was a
chain.
fake person?
Most people didn't. That's for sure. That's great.
Mike, we play the game every day, whether or not we specify it. It's called the This Guy game, where
Yeah.
I bring up a reporter that is, hey, that guy. This might be the best one ever. I might have carried this story anyway because it's in Collier County, and a guy tried to steal a lot of Pokemon cards, like $10,000, $15,000 worth.
Okay. All right. I got to ask you a question because I'm going to try a guessing game here.
Okay.
And then when you say Collier County, I know the local anchors. Is it an anchor or a reporter?
It's a reporter.
Okay. I'm not going to play the game then. All right.
I think his name, I'd have to check the tape, of course, as you're about to see it. His name is Ryan Arbogast. And he
Okay.
has an interesting delivery.
Okay.
Let's go to the tape.
It's a real life gotta catch 'em all, but in this case, the Collier County Sheriff's Office only had to catch one. Let's just say this Pokemon burglar's tactics were not very effective. Prepare for trouble.
Good luck opening Pokemon cards in jail. That's it.
And make it double.
I have zero sympathy. You don't do something like this.
There's no fleeing from this battle. Guns and Ammo forcing this trainer to hand over 15 grand in stolen Pokemon cards. You are watching the Collier County Sheriff's Office deliver a critical hit with a hyper beam of justice this past Monday.
I can't even figure out what he sounds like.
First of all, it's Collier County. It's not Collier County. You're keeping your show uptight with your delivery. Do we ever get a picture of the dude?
It
My heart
doesn't
was
matter.
racing. My heart was pounding the whole
Because
year. Like I have my life savings into this business.
That was the owner of the Cork Barn, the Poke Barn. Because they
Now
sell Pokemon.
that I know one of the anchors. One of the anchors is has her kids go to my kid's school, and I will tell you that the reporters on this particular station are not known as the baby reporters. First of all, they get them all young. They get them out of like journalism school. They really do. The reporters, they don't pay them enough, and they get them out of journalism. But I'd love to see this guy, and I have never heard that delivery.
I don't
down
know
here
what
in
it is.
Southwest Florida. I never heard that in the whole time.
Not Aesop from the chat room obviously did a quick Google, said that Ryan Arbogast graduated from the Newhouse School of Communications at Syracuse.
Syracuse?
Yes. Who turned us both down.
And he won a Suncoast Emmy last year for his story, Reptile to Runway.
Wow.
Do you want a little more of his delivery, Mike?
Yes, please.
Orca's Pokebarn says the man with his hands in the air doing his best Team Rocket impression is a regular. 34-year-old Francisco
there he is.
Alvarez of Bonita
There he is.
Springs, caught red-handed just
down the
like
road.
a shiny Charizard.
And I saw him right in the
All right, I'm done. But
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm going to look for him now. I will be looking for him now. I'll be watching Channel 2. Channel 2 down here. They merged, by the way. They merged the ABC and
this
the
is
NBC.
This says Gulf Coast Television.
That's brand new. Gulf
Okay.
Coast. They merged the two news departments to
That's
tackle
smart.
the big one, which is Wink. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
There's
you
your
can
little
remember the
update.
name Arbogast. I think that's
Arbogast.
Arbogast. Mike, we didn't get to Kid Rock today. Can I play just a brief clip of him in the Oval Office?
Sure.
Does that ruin anything? When I say to you the name Robert James Ritchie, that doesn't mean anything. But that's Kid Rock's real name.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Which is what the president seems to really sort of latch on to. They're excited. They're going to bring down ticket scalpers and resale guys.
A friend of mine, Kid Rock, sometimes referred to as Bob. I know him as Bob, but he's been a good friend for a long time, many years, and he's been after something that is for the good of a lot of people.
Do you remember when they gave the president of the Ukraine grief for coming to the the Oval Office not dressed appropriately. Yeah. Kid Rock looks like an intern for Evel Knievel.
I think they should keep that outfit on. And if you come to the White House and they don't approve, you have to wear that.
Oh, like a sport jacket at a fancy
Yes,
restaurant.
exactly.
Oh, my God. I might give a $100 bill to somebody showing up at Jimmy's in that outfit. That's
a
pretty
good
awesome,
one. Yeah.
right
I'll
there.
check
Mike,
Temu.
for $100, you could probably get Kid Rock.
Oh, they're all. Hey, by the way, these guys were also into Bill Maher going to the White House. They're going to flip it.
What?
That's the thing. Yeah, Bill Maher's been invited to the White House. I think he's going.
You know
So-
who invited
there?
him?
Donald Trump, right?
No, Bob.
Bob
arranged
Bob,
it.
yeah.
Oh, Bob because Bob was on
Yes.
Real Time about a month ago, less than a month ago.
Some people call him Bob. I call him Kid Rock.
Bob. There you go, Bob. Thank you, Bob.
Mike, you and I have always shared a fascination and a love for people of Europe that do American accents.
Oh, absolutely. British people doing an American accent, one of my favorite things in the world. Love it.
The one I met, he was from Northern England, and he always, when he wanted to sound America, he'd say, "Hey, sandwiches. I have bananas on my hands."
By the way, the guy on White Lotus, the father,
Yes.
not good. Not a good
his,
American accent.
His accents, his Australian sneaks out all the time.
Is it Australian? Is
I
he an
think it is.
Australian? I
I
think he's
think
a
it is.
British actor. I'm not sure. All right.
But
well,
anyway, I like this lady. This is sort of related. She talks about the American expressions that as a British person, she likes to hear. She lives in Michigan, and this sort of simplifies the American dialect
okay.
to this, okay?
I love hearing Americans say it as a Brit living in the US. My absolute favorite is "good job." Then it's got to be "you're all set." Now, even though I live in Michigan, I love hearing "y'all." People don't seem to say it as much here, but I still love that. My husband says this all the time, and I just love it. It's "get a hold." Gotta get a hold of someone. Whereas, like, I think Brits would just say I gotta get in touch. Another absolute favorite is liquor. I love that old worldy kind of term for it. It's liquor. And on another thought is stove. I love stove because Brits just call it a cooker. Oh, well, I say cooker or cooker. Another favorite is the huh. I can't even think of a thing right now what you would say. It's like you just say something and they go, huh. Like as if you're saying, interesting. I love that.
Mike,
That's fun. That's
good
just
job.
fun. I love
Good
language
job.
is fun. It really, really is fun. And mind your cornies, eat your cornies.
That's so sad because I associate that with such sadness. But it's a
Yeah, it
great
is,
sentence.
kind of a drag.
All right, let's close with this, Mike. I could do an all dice beautiful video all day.
Okay.
But when one is particularly good, I have to share it. I think he's on South Street in Philadelphia. I could be wrong. But what the person says when he recognizes him makes it all worthwhile.
This is incredible. This is 6th Street.
I'm over here now.
There he is.
I'm over here.
And I'm over here now.
I'm over here now.
And I'm over here now because you say. What's going on, dog?
Hey, nice to meet a legend, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mike,
He's just wandering with that camera. I could watch it all
I am
day
over
long.
here now.
Yes, I'm over here now.
And then the best thing is he doesn't even like take it as any sort of, diminishment of himself. He turns the camera around and says, "And I'm over here now."
Over here now.
Good job, Dice.
All right, when we come in tomorrow, I think that a little skin in the game for Josh or me with the Orioles taking on the Red Sox tonight. Not quite sure what
No
we're
game
going
today.
to do. What's that?
No game today. Off day.
Never mind. Thanks so much. I appreciate you listening. We'll be back with a full episode tomorrow.
We can set it up. They play tomorrow
Yes.
night.
Yeah, we'll have 24 hours to plan. What could possibly go wrong? I should pay more attention. Sorry. I had a bad day yesterday. We will be back tomorrow for Josh Soroka and Rob Spiewak. This is Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I'm over here now.
Oh, Dice.
Want more? Make sure you check out the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
I'm Ray Barboni from Miami.
I spend a lot of time thinking about dirt.